2.
Hi friends, welcome back to the Scuffed cast. Here we are. Joining me is our other co-host here, Tryhouse.
Woo!
We got him
Scuffed
here.
cast!
And we have Randy joining us as well.
Woo! Hi guys.
Let's go. Unfortunately, Veeds is sick today. He will not be with us. And so everybody go and send your well wishes to Veeds. He's feeling under the weather. Couldn't make it, which is unfortunate because he is our EU RLCS guy. So when we started talking about RLCS stuff, we were like in the dark and had to like look everything up. So god dang it, Veeds.
Yeah.
No,
Research.
Yeah,
no, but I just did not catch the EU major. But I did get caught up. So probably a blessing in disguise. So on top of that, we'll be talking about the community tournament updates that Rocket League has recently did. If you didn't get a chance to read through them, we'll go through them
That's gonna
and
be a
our
huge
opinions
topic.
on that. Also, we're going to be talking about the Rocket League content plagiarism that has been happening kind of behind the scenes for quite a while. And we addressed it before in the past, but now it's coming back in full force and it's affecting a lot of creators that we know as our friends. So we're going to get a little bit into that. And then lastly, we'll talk about a bit of a mix-up that Twitch had that ended up affecting the Sub-Saharan Africa Rocket League, I'm pretty sure, tournament, and Gridiron came back, so we'll get into that. But firstly, we'll talk about the EU major and the fact that BDS literally swept in the final. So they came back after finally losing a major, and they came back in a very impressive fashion, I might add. So I didn't get to catch the games, but I heard that the final wasn't even on the live broadcast for half an hour.
Yeah, they got destroyed. Or Queso did.
You guys got this one. I don't keep up with EU RLCS. All right, I only pay attention to North America, the region, freedom. Sorry, I've just had coffee, guys. I'm gonna calm down.
I watched a good chunk of it. I did not catch the final though, and it sounds like I didn't miss too much, unfortunately.
Right.
But I was really happy with how Queso was playing. I'm surprised they had a rough time in the finals.
I heard that Tryhouse had mentioned that they have already made RLCS the major. So
Yes, because they won last event, didn't they? Or guys, I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna look up the rankings right now. All I know, I said I didn't pay attention to RLCS. You know, I would pay attention a little bit. So I saw Evil Geniuses versus Queso in the losers final, and a lot of the commentary was about how Queso, they weren't playing for much because I think even making to the losers final, they pretty much already solidified themselves a spot in this major. I could be fact checked here, and BDS, they didn't show up too well for the first regional event, so they needed to come in and do what they did this time. And so I think BDS and Queso are the favorites for this region currently, which is shocking because last split and even all last season, I feel like EU was such an open bag of teams that could rise to the top, other than BDS, of course. BDS was BDS, but
yeah.
Other than that, it could be any team was going to show up and win. And now, like, I think Vitality didn't even make it out of group stage. Am I wrong there? Is that?
You're not wrong there. It looks like they came in second to last as far as places go.
Yeah, I mean, who's on Vitality right now? Like, did they just forget to bring their thumbs? Like, it's Fairy Peak, K-Dop, and Alpha. How?
They're not having a good season, I've noticed. I think at the last major, Fairy Peak was sick, and then their synergy isn't working. I don't think that K-Dop or Fairy Peak or Alpha aren't like at the top of their game. I just think they're not working well together. Like, even though they have in the past, like, it's just one of those things where after this year, they need to split up. Even Fairy Peak and K-Dop, maybe, and I don't know, maybe K-Dop will consider retiring. I feel like he's still, he could still be on the top, like Turbo Pulsa, but it could just be a direction change for him because he does content as well. He's a huge French content creator. So
I forget
it
that.
could be.
He could easily retire if he wanted to.
Right. So I'm wondering if maybe he's like, you know what, I'm ending my professional career, and
You probably thought
I'm
about it
not
after
feeling with
going
this
0
team.
and 3 in groups. Like,
Oof.
I'm sorry,
mean,
that's
I would
toxic.
just they're such like there have been so many like major Rocket League players. And when I say major Rocket League players, I mean like players that have made history throughout the Rocket League years that are retiring lately, and I'm just like, I don't want it to like. There's so many new names out now, and I love that for the Rocket League scene. Obviously, the more talent, the better. But I also just have a very warm place in my heart for like old rosters and stuff like that. So seeing K-Dub and Fairy Peak potentially split up
You're going to
would
be
be
in
another end
denial
of an
as long
era.
as possible, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I remember rooting for them back when before I was on SSG. I was
I
a
remember
big
those
Fairy Peak
days.
fangirl. So I
They
mean,
make
still
us feel
am,
old.
but it's different now. Obviously, I got a team in NA to root for, but I still secretly always be rooting for them, and it's just tough to see them struggling this time around. But hopefully, I mean,
They'll bounce
they're
back.
making room for more. Yeah, they're just making room for more like top EU teams. I don't know. I wonder if BDS is going to show up the same way they did at the last major and kind of like hugely upset NA, but I have hope. I have hope for us. So it's nerve wracking to think about. EU can be pretty like scary at times, especially when you see a final like that. So
Yeah, I didn't see the final. I was like, you know what? I watched. I assumed it was going to be great because people have been so on board for Team Queso recently. It's insane the amount of the amount they're supported by the community. It's, you know what else is insane? Since we picked up Daniel, did you guys see the vote for?
yes,
I know this was should have covered
was
this
a while
last
ago.
podcast, but when we went up against FaZe, the vote was 82% in our favor against FaZe. Yeah, against
There's
FaZe.
that has to be a glitch.
No.
no, it was true.
Since
And
we
it was
picked
an
up
upset.
Daniel, it's
Yeah.
SSG is finally getting the, I don't know, the community support that it's like pretty much always
They've-
deserved.
Right. They've always had such a solid team and really like pushed to make a name for themselves. And that's what SSG is about. Like when we first joined the org, it was explained to us that SSG wants to be the best in tier 2 because so many people are trying to be the best in tier 1 right now that they're just trying to find a space. And you can tell they put all of their energy into Rocket League content and Rainbow Six Siege content and stuff like that to get that response, and it's definitely working out now because of this this lucky pick that we got with Daniel, and
Yeah.
it just ended up being such a good combination of players on top of Reddles being active on YouTube now with his comms videos, Arsenal continuing to create content and just be loved by the whole community, and then Daniel just coming out here and performing like that in his first major or in his first tournament. That it was just a recipe for success for SSG, and I'm really proud of them. I hope that they can continue the streak because SSG's also always been a team to kind of work through the difficulties they've had, and we don't see them participate in roster mania very often. So
Yeah, I remember when AXB left, I was like, what? I was so thrown off by that because I mean they had been in a roster for quite some time. Also, yeah, all these orgs now, they're investing in content creators and like investing in the Rocket League scene as a whole. I'd like to point out that Space Station was the first one to do that, actually.
Or
So
they jumped out,
better.
they grabbed up everybody.
yeah,
They
so
were like, "Come on."
a hard flex there. Listen, I know I'm on the payroll, but SSG was the first org to really actually invest in the Rocket League scene. Beyond just getting a good pro team, obviously, because
Right.
orgs have done that. But then you've also seen orgs like, you know, as soon as their team isn't getting the sort of attention or placements that they're wanting, they dip out of the org. They dip out of the scene, like Cloud9. No shade thrown, but
Where the
actually
hell
some
is
shade
Cloud9
thrown.
right now?
Like Cloud9 had the biggest creator or one of the biggest creators in the scene, and as soon as their pro team isn't doing so hot, they dip because they're not making money. And it's like, you know, I'm just saying I'm glad Space Station is getting the sort of community support that it has always deserved, in my opinion. Beyond it. So Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That was a brief tangent.
No, you're fine.
on-
I love gassing up SSG as much as you. I'm on the org, so I'm about it. But another thing that's really important that kind of was not supposed to be revealed to the public, but ended up being leaked by none other than Shift RLE on Twitter.
Dun,
But
dun, dun.
Ticketmaster put out a listing which has now since been removed. So this is all speculation. I want to add that. So if we end up being wrong, like they changed it up on everybody so that they could remain spontaneous, okay? But they said that the tickets are going to be going live this Friday. I believe it was 10 a.m. PST.
Yes,
if I'm
because it would be
not
noon. It'd be noon
mistaken.
for actually everybody on the cast right now because we're all Central Time. So
Right. So Ticketmaster, they have already confirmed that is where the tickets will be sold. YouTube Theaters venue. It would be very, very advised if you are looking to get some tickets that I know it's another Rocket League podcast and I don't want to promo them, but First Touch might have some info on it. And then Friday, just make sure you're on the Ticketmaster website because you never know. They could come out. If you got school, skip it. No, I'm just kidding.
oh my gosh.
Just bring your phone in class. You don't have to skip school.
Oh my God, my face froze.
Your face froze at the exact perfect moment. I'm clipping that. No, somebody in the chat, please clip it. Oh my God, and it froze on her laugh. This is so perfect. All right, hold on. I'm gonna refresh her. If you guys are listening on Spotify, Nito's face cam is bugging here. I'm gonna refresh it. Oh my God, I refreshed it and now there we go. She's back. But her face cam froze on what I would call a very energetic face. It was great.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so Ticketmaster, be paying attention Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be ready for those tickets to go on sale. I'm sure they're going to announce it. I'm positive they will. Before there's no way Psyonix would do us like that. They would announce it before they go live.
Yeah.
But
they would not be like they're out now. Like they wouldn't do that. They would
because they
definitely
could kill their own event and just let people that were not really that interested just be like, oh. Whereas there's people like us that are like dying to go and content creators.
I really hope they put out something very clear, and I don't know if they have yet or if it was included when they announced it, but when you buy a ticket, you are not going to get a wheel code like you did before. So don't think that I get a cool wheel that I can trade. You don't. You won't get a cool wheel.
Yeah, it's just a major.
You'll end up taking a ticket away from. Well, there will be wheel codes, I believe, handed out at LAN.
Really? It's just a major though.
I'm not 100% sure, but that's how it was going to happen in Dallas. But was Dallas Worlds?
Yeah, Dallas was
Worlds. Yeah.
Okay,
Might
so
not be
it
the
could
same.
if it's just a major then, but just keep that in mind because there's a lot of people that think like, oh, I'm gonna get a cool item if I get a ticket and I'm not gonna go, but it's like no, you won't get a cool item. You'll steal somebody's seat and end up being an unintentional.
Don't be that douche canoe that buys out a row just for codes, please.
Yeah,
If they're doing codes, I doubt. Oh my God, if they do, there's no reason they would need to. They wouldn't need to do the wheel codes because those seats are gonna sell out so quick.
Yeah, but if you need my ticket tips, if you're listening in, you're gonna get some ticket tips real quick. Make sure you're on the website very earlier than you think you gotta be on the website. Make sure you're on the website very early. And when you're buying tickets, don't go for the cool front row tickets that everybody's gonna go for first, because sometimes when you go to save them, you'll go to buy and it'll be like these tickets.
Are they gonna be assigned seats?
You have to. I'm assuming so. You buy like your own.
They did last time. They tried to.
So you're gonna want to
dumb.
just pick some random seats, like just hope and pray. Obviously, if you got 3 people, you're going get those 3 seats, but don't be going for the high priority seats because you may end up like getting shafted like out of any tickets if you try to get the front row seats. Just my ticket tip. So don't forget to be on Ticketmaster on Friday.
So get a seat and then knife fight somebody once you're at the venue for their spot in the
Yeah.
front row.
I don't know, but I don't think I would not recommend.
Could you imagine Randy showing up being like, I will fight you. Give me
I
your
need a
spot.
ticket.
Yeah, dude, Randy's
Come
gonna show
here.
up in that taco blanket, like, and float in like a Dementor, and just walk in. He doesn't even need a ticket.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna fight someone until I get my tickets. Who needs to buy tickets when you got these hands?
Right, exactly. You just go and start backhanding the security. They don't care.
Oh my gosh! When you got these hands. All right, guys. Rough segue. There was a pretty good segue point earlier about young talent coming into the scene or whatever.
True.
But now we are going to shift over to probably the most, I would say, controversial topic of this cast, and that is the update to the community tournament guidelines. It's been kind of a mixed bag of huge W's and what some people would call huge L's. Starting off, the one that I think was the biggest W. We'll start off on a positive foot. The biggest W, for you guys that didn't know, that the largest community held tournament, the prize cap was $5,000. Nobody could have a tournament greater than $5,000 because Psyonix wanted to overlord the bubble scene, and they wanted to make RLCS the biggest thing around.
But you'd have to get it approved. You'd have to go through Psyonix, right?
Yeah, you'd have to go through Psyonix and all that stuff. And on top of that, there is a yearly cap of, I think, $50,000. So if it was like a reoccurring tournament, like the total prize pool could not exceed $50,000. They just removed that altogether. There is no yearly cap now. And the prize pool for a single tournament can go up to $15,000, which is, I think, perfect, because $5,000 was too much was too little to attract, top 16 teams. Like a top, because when you think $5,000, you're like, that's pretty good money for a day's work, or maybe like a 2 days work. But the problem is when that money is distributed between like the top 8 teams, first place ends up only getting like $2,000 of that. And so
it gets split up.
Yeah. And it gets split up between 3 different people on the team and the org and taxes and stuff. So it's really not enough to get anybody but teams just out, maybe some teams in the top 32 if they're wanting a little bit more attention, but mainly just bubble teams that are just trying to get in the scene. And but $15,000, I would see teams all the way up into top 8 or outside the top 8 getting in there. Right? Oh, yeah. $15,000? That's, I don't know who's going to host that, but
me.
Nito, you're going to ball out?
Nito's tournament.
Right. I've been thinking about organizing some sort of 1v1 tournament. I don't want to self-promote or anything, but Johnny Boy's Salt Mine, because it's been a while since there's been 1v1 support in the scene. So, but yeah, I think it definitely gives other people chances to get in on the community tournaments. But I guess the biggest controversy was, and my camera is just freezing left and right. The biggest controversy was the age restriction changing. No.
Yeah. Yeah. As big as the prize pool being increased is, a lot of people are getting really upset about this. And the fact is, in order to compete in any of these tournaments now, you have to be 15 years of age or older. Before, that was just reserved for RLCS, but now it's across the board. And there's apparently a lot of community tournaments and leagues and all this other stuff that goes on. And now, if you're not 15, you can't play in those. So, did I just hear an oof sound? Was that you, Randy? Hit me with the Go XLR button.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it myself, but I'm
not here now.
I'm a little bit. I'm on the fence about my opinion about that, because I was reading everybody else's opinion and kind of gathering how that affects people. And a lot of people were talking about how if you raise the age for outside community tournaments, you won't allow kids that are exceptional at the game to get the practice that they need to become pros
Yep.
the way that they used to, which I completely agree with. I think it's true. I just like esports is such there's such a huge gray area when it comes to age, because kids are the ones that are playing games the most, and they can become really good really fast because they're like little sponges. But at the same time, we have to wonder,
is it healthy?
Like, is it healthy? Right? Are these kids not experiencing like life this the way that other kids do and have those same social skills, and is their mental health okay? A great example of this that we've seen kind of throughout a very long time is Scrubkilla. Scrubkilla came into the scene very, very young, had eyes on him even before that, because he was a little tiny kid playing Supersonic. He literally grew up playing Rocket League. He has this whole section in his brain that's just Rocket League, Yep. And we kind of got to see how his journey started and how it is now, and how his mental has, we've all seen Scrub streams and how he can get and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that it was a bad thing. I think his career is extremely impressive, and obviously I think it's great that there are people that can have those opportunities, and the more opportunities the better. However, I do worry about kids' mental health and whether or not they should be competing for hundreds of thousands of dollars at such a young age. And
and it's also that like people don't seem to think.
Sorry,
people seem to think that because what we're talking about here, in order to become a pro Rocket League player, it's not like these kids are putting in 20 hours a week. In order for somebody to get to the pro level, they are putting in a minimum 40 hours a week.
Yep.
And these are kids.
For a while too.
For a long time. And we're not talking about just over the course of one summer when they're not in school. They just know life it for a few months and become a pro. It's they have to be neglecting something in their life in order to put in that kind of time. And although I am really happy that we've got Daniel, and obviously he's a godsend, it is like I'm sure Daniel knew at some point made the decision to ignore everything else in his life and to focus on Rocket League because he wanted to go pro.
I'm personally for it. I don't think you need a social life or any responsibilities, and it's a good thing to teach kids. So we should honestly just take away the restriction, minimize, make it so that 10-year-olds can join.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see a 6-year-old in RLCS.
I mean, it's also like the thing is, and I know that just because they're good enough to compete, I'm wondering, like, do we want children to be the face of a brand?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That's a huge point, Try, when you're talking about brands and when you're talking about kids, and then when you're talking about the gaming community as a whole as well, because we're all gamers here. We know the dark side of the gaming community and how that can affect young people. And when you're playing like hundreds of thousands of hours of a video game, you're encountering that tenfold. And then depending on who you're hanging out with, and generally, I think our pro scene is generally pretty mild, but we don't see what happens behind the scenes. We don't know the severity of the toxicity that happens behind the scenes, and how that affects people's mental health. And when it comes to brands and kids, it becomes a very slippery slope because they're underage. I don't know. It is strange. And I think that it's just because it's new. Esports is such a new thing, and it's so accessible to so many people, and kids are interested in it. So obviously you're going to have kids that get good at it. For me, it's like, I'm on the fence about it. I don't disagree.
I am too.
I don't agree. I don't know. It's just like, it can be beneficial to some people, but for others, it could harm them and potentially their relationship with games, their relationship with their families, their relationship with their friends, because they are throwing it all away for something that is largely unattainable right now because the opportunities are so slim.
Yeah. And I'm on the fence about it too. And I honestly think Psyonix was on the fence about it but I think they decided to err on the side of caution, because this is a little bit of a segue here, and I'm not completely done talking about the 15-year-old age restriction or even the prize cap increase, because that is, a huge boon to the community in general, because you don't even need approval from Psyonix for that. You can just put up a $15,000 tournament. That's nuts.
Makes you wonder why they wanted to do that in the first place, and were our speculations on why they wanted to do it in the first place true for them to be like, all right, like,
let's update this. I'm not sure, but what I was getting at here is that people tended to latch onto the 15-year-old age restriction as like the main topic, but if you look at the actual post that they released, which of course I don't have it linked in our little cheat sheet here, so I got to go Googleize it, but there's restrictions on what kind of sponsorships and branding you can associate with these community tournaments. So for one, no cryptocurrency is allowed to be a sponsor or have graphics shown on the stream or talked about, which is, pretty huge in terms of that's one, to my knowledge, that's one of the first, we're one of the first esports to put our foot down about that, because it seems like every other game is like really latching onto NFTs and the non-fungible tokens, the tokens that can't be funged.
We talked about it in a previous podcast.
Yeah, we did.
So do you think this is because of Litecoin gaming joining the scene?
I think it's because right now crypto is such a lucrative thing online, and the reason why so many orgs are starting to feed into that is because it can be a simple way for your community to generate money for your org. Is it a good thing? Debatable. Mm-hmm. But
and there's
right now
scams
there's
too,
not a lot of money in there's not a lot of money in
scams.
There's not a lot of money in esports. So a lot of them are trying to hop onto this trend of NFTs to gain some sort of monetary, and also that head start, it's a new thing, so if we do it now, we'll start selling soon, and then our NFTs will gain in value. But right now it's just, I think it's just like a scapegoat. It's like an easy cash grab. Instead of working for other things, they're trying to get it really fast and really easy, so they're doing the trendy NFT thing right now.
Exactly.
But it's good. I think it is very good that they have put in place. I'm not 100,000 million% against NFTs. I just don't think they belong in a space where there are so many kids involved and so many people that are underage that could potentially have access to electronic funds. When I got my first debit card when I was in high school. So that's dangerous when you're dealing with kids who have money and what they can do with that money as well.
I think it's under the same blanket of taking out the crates.
Yeah, and this is kind of why I think this is linked. Is Psyonix / Epic Games is doing their best to cover their bases legally, and I think morally too. It's just because it can make money doesn't mean that's what should be making money, and they're trying to associate their brand with wholesome stuff. The other things, okay, so the phrasing they use in this is, your tournament cannot include any marketing, promotion, endorsement, or sponsorship of any entities, products, or services on the following list. Then it lists off the obvious ones, like drug or drug paraphernalia, tobacco products, got it, including vaping products, alcohol, which obviously a lot of major sports, they have alcohol sponsorships, like
beer and stuff like that. There's some brands that reach out to streamers now. So.
Exactly.
Dignitas has that Voodoo sponsorship, and that is a beer. or
Yeah,
IPA
and
or
like
some shit.
I know John Salmon's had which I'm jealous, the Bud Light Seltzer sponsorship before, and so they're putting their foot down about these big tournaments that alcohol can't be a sponsorship. I think this one's huge, and a lot of people are probably going to hate me for this. Energy drinks can't be any part of the marketing or sponsorship for any of these community tournaments, which I personally think is a very smart decision. I know there's a lot of people hopped up on GFuel listening that are probably against what I'm talking about, but I personally think that GFuel has carved out their part of the market in the gaming community simply by throwing money around. And there's a lot of kids that come into my chat that talk about their favorite GFuel flavors, and I'm like, you're fucking 13. What are you? Why do you need GFuel? You have so much energy. And so I think it's another thing where it's like these people are throwing around money around impressionable kids, and they see their favorite content creator scarfing down GFuel, and so they want to scarf down some GFuel. Well, here at SSG, the only thing we scarf down is oats overnight.
It's oats. It's oats, bro. It's got protein. We have fun flavors, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I understand energy drinks
I like that sponsorship. Yeah.
push out a lot of money into the gaming scene, but you have to understand there's a reason for that. And it's because energy drinks weren't making enough money to compete against the big boys like Bud Light, and when, like they couldn't grab the NFL market. They didn't have enough money for that. So what they did was they freaking found a community that was just trying to grow in the gaming scene, and they fucking pumped all the money they could, because for the gaming scene, they could throw around a lot of money. And that's why
the more hours of games you can play, the better you get, and the more you can sustain your. And
it's fucking toxic.
You can grind ranked. You can, yeah. It's not a good mentality, especially when you think about the effects of caffeine and how much caffeine and sugar these drinks could have potentially. Like, have one on the weekend with your friends, whatever, do that. But having it every single day, multiple times a day, when your body's still developing. No, it's gonna do something. Like, you're not gonna end up right. And I'm glad that they're taking steps to prevent. I guess it's not the most evil thing in the world. That's the thing I'm saying. Like, everything in moderation. I'm a huge believer.
Yeah,
in that.
but the G Fuel is. I mean, I'm using G Fuel
to
specifically.
Have it be sponsored and like just shoved down your throat when you're trying to play games and stuff like that. That's where I like draw the line, right?
Yeah, it's like it's not. Yeah, it's like, and they're fucking kids. They don't need energy drinks. They're hopped up on Mountain Dew enough. But yeah, so they added that, and I personally think that's a huge W, and it wasn't talked about a lot. But a lot of these smaller orgs, they're trying to get their first sponsorships, and just so they know, if they're trying to do a community tournament, somebody's gonna fuck this up. By the way, somebody's gonna fuck this up, and
they already did. They literally already did last night. I saw somebody on Twitter that was like, looking forward for this tournament, blah, 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 blah. There's a $60 entry fee. And people were like, you're not allowed to have entry fees in Rocket League tournament anymore. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, that's
and
another. They were like, oh shit. So they didn't enter because they're against. Yeah. So yeah, it's already happening.
And so they're doing their best to keep these tournaments. Like, if you want to hold the tournament, you better throw down the money yourself or get sponsorships that are legit and aren't predatory, because and there's another one right here that I think is huge and potentially could have entered the gaming scene with where is it, basically it says no gambling at all, which is like, all right, yeah, obviously we're not gonna have a slot machine sponsor an esport tournament, but that's also includes
no predictions on the Rocket League stream.
Oh my gosh, Nito. What it means is daily fantasy stuff like DraftKings, FanDuel,
like with real money.
Yeah, like no gambling with real money or any sites that advocate it. So, and honestly, FanDuel and DraftKings, like, they could throw some money in the gaming scene's way if they wanted to. Because
what is FanDuel?
It's scary to think about that sports bets and like how
it's sports betting.
They're
basically
okay with sports, but then esports, you're like, I don't know if I like that.
Well, yeah, and it's also just like, it is gambling, and I've lost a lot of money doing that personally.
I've lost
a lot of money at the time.
Money gambling.
I was in college and was like, oh my gosh, I can bet on my favorite football teams, and I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so we know how that went. And but yeah, so that kind of covers like what the sponsors can be for tournaments now. And overall, I know there's some people that are like going to be against the stuff I was talking about, but it's better in general for the esport as a whole. And it's always made me I'm sorry if somebody's listening to this and you are a sponsor for GFuel or another energy drink, but it's just when I see big content creators, like really big content creators talking about GFuel, it's always from day one I've been on Twitch made me cringe, and I don't know why. And I'm just glad this like organization it's basically just verifying what I've always felt is like it's a little weird,
immoral.
Yeah, like I don't.
Well, like they have this strategy. I've noticed, and I don't want to get too into like GFuel lore, but like they have a lot of top creators that they've already latched onto, and they treat them like royalty. They give them their own flavor. They give them their own shaker. So then all these other smaller creators are like, oh shit, maybe that can be me one day, and they promote the brand. You know, for what they get their little code or whatever, and they think they're doing something, but they're not. But anyway, another thing that has been going on in the Rocket League community, but it's not something official that was released by Rocket League. It's something that's been happening behind the scenes that we noticed several months ago, but now has just boiled over into this huge problem that we don't really know how to deal with other than pointing it out and hoping it stops, which is Rocket League content being stolen and distributed on different platforms, or even on the same platform. So firstly, the ones that the ones that we first kind of touched on and started looking at months ago was a South American YouTuber who was, I believe it was South American, fact check me, but they were stealing thumbnails and video premises. So like they were stealing the entire video idea, taking the thumbnail, editing the
part
thumbnail.
of the thumbnail. Like
they would remake it, but it's the same one, right? It's
and sometimes not even that, Nito. They would like I've seen when they take the thumbnail and then they'll change one corner of the thumbnail. Like they still took that shit. Yeah, like
I remember there was one thumbnail where they flipped it and they forgot to take away the Rocket League logo, so the Rocket League logo was flipped as well. it was not no bueno. But so the reason why this stands to be an issue is because there are creators in Rocket League. We have such a hard time coming up with content already when it gets stolen. And on YouTube, it's a huge problem because this guy's getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah.
And you get paid for that kind of stuff. So at what point, when is it just completely stolen content? Like it's a different language. They're re-recording the entire thing and editing it and stuff like that. But it's the same exact premise and it seems shady, right? But there's no real thing you can do because it's not like they're just re-uploading your video, right?
Bullshit. You know what they could do? Waitin could learn to speak Spanish, re-record it himself, and make actually, hold on a second. I wonder if he could hold on a second here.
That's all. I mean, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but I'm right. I'm like fluent in Spanish, and if you are a bilingual content creator, like full send it. You will be very surprised how huge like communities are in countries that speak languages other than English, because that's why K-Dop is so huge, because he's a French Rocket League player and there's not many huge content creators. He's the only one, so that's why he's huge. And same with our local Mira. She's doing so well because she can speak so many languages.
She can?
On top of being one of the top viewed streamer or top sub 2 streamer in the Netherlands. I think that's where she is. Yeah, but it's because it's just like those things will make you really special. And those things that make you really special, it sucks when other people just like completely rip it off and you can't do anything about it. Another thing that's been happening is TikTok. They'll take videos, cut them up into different parts, and just re-upload them with their voice, with their editing. It doesn't matter. They don't even put their name in the description or where it's from. They'll just re-upload it for views. Less harmful because you cannot get, I apologize for my webcam freezing, you cannot get that much money from TikTok. And even now, like with the creator fund, like they wouldn't, those accounts that are stealing it wouldn't be able to apply for that And
yeah, that's happened to me
just
forever, actually.
It just feels wrong. Like, it doesn't, it's not.
Oh, it is.
Good.
It's wrong. People have taken my TikToks and repost them, which is, like, that's, people do that all the time. But then people go to my YouTube videos and they will take a section of, like, my air dribble tutorial, and they have done, what they'll do is, sorry, that was my phone. Did it sound like I tooted? I'm hoping
making
everybody
a bunch of weird faces.
I hope that
The phrasing.
yeah. So but yeah, they'll take like part A of my air dribble tutorial, upload that, and then they'll be like and follow for next one, and then they'll keep doing it. I'm like, Bish, you just took my content. And some of the people will at least tag you, but even that, I'm sus with that. I'm like, bro, no, you literally did the least amount of work possible to grow your audience off of, because you guys, I know a lot of you guys probably think like what we do is easy. And I get that. We play video games. But to come up with content and make it good and interesting, like I still don't really make money doing YouTube. And I'm a channel with 100,000 subs. Casual flex, because it is an investment of my time. And when people just like rip it off, there's entire Rocket League channels on TikTok that all they do is they find the trending Rocket League clip right now, and then they repost it, and then they'll do that, and they have huge followings, and it's like they're just ripping off content. But yeah, it's one of those things where you don't know what could be done.
This is where the YouTube copyright shit should come in handy.
It actually does. If they do this on YouTube's platform for striking I haven't even checked it recently, but YouTube's as a platform is great for that. If somebody uses even like 5 seconds of your video, there's a section called copyright. And if somebody uses, oh my gosh, this just happened to me. What the heck? I'm checking it now. Somebody used my clip for 100% of their video, and it tells you the percentage matched of what their video matches yours. And so if somebody is like doing a reacts to your video, it's like if it's only 5% of their video, I'm like, all right, whatever. They just watch it they just watch it for a little bit. But yeah, I'm checking this. Take them down. Somebody used 100% of my video. They just reposted, I think it was probably, they just reposted a short of mine.
Fire the cannons.
I'm gonna be not, it only has, their video only has 20 views. I'll pick my battles.
So here's what you do. Send some people over there first. Hey, go watch this video. And then shoot it down.
Randy, you're
now here's what you do. You go and you look up videos that are talking, you go and look up videos that are just talking shit about you, and then you copyright flag those. Get them taken down, because how dare they? How dare they? Look at my face.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
I can't, dude. I gotta be like completely straight faced.
I'll be right back
for the whole cast now.
Oh no, Randy, you're leaving me with glitchy Nito.
Yes, I am. Sora pooped.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Randy is a dog father, so a single dog father. So he has to. He's got to take care of something.
Randy the dog
I can imagine
father.
it does. I can imagine it's not a pleasant experience, so I'll allow it. But if you do it again, you're fired, Randy. Okay.
Is there anything we can do about so I kind of want to talk about this. Is there anything we can do about the Rocket League content plagiarism? Like, obviously, I just said on YouTube, if people are too egregious for it, it's easy to get that stuff taken down, because if they take a part of your video, YouTube's got a tool for it. But
you just gotta report it. If you see it and you're like, this isn't the person that's supposed to be posting this, like on TikTok, just repost it or report it. And what I do is I'll just go in the comments and be like, this is so-and-so's, and then just leave.
Oh my gosh.
You know, at the end of the day, you have to think about this. Like, when those things go viral, the more you interact with it, the more it becomes viral. And a lot of the times what happens is people will notice, oh, this is plagiarized. We'll start to comment, this is plagiarized. And then it ends up going viral even more because people are
interacting with it. Yeah, exactly.
So it's difficult. What I would say is just report and move on. And then maybe, like, if it's TikTok, you can hit not interested in, and then it will
That's what you can do.
That person's page to less people, just stuff like that. On YouTube, I think it's on the creator, right? Like you said, going and doing those copyright strikes if necessary. But it's just, it sucks that it's happening. And it sucks even more because Rocket League, like I said in the beginning, it's so hard to come up with original content for Rocket League when it happens. When you see somebody just completely rip you off, I can't imagine, like, you just kind of want to throw in the towel at that point. Like, what can I do that people won't rip off in a foreign language, you know? So
well, somebody was telling me in the Twitch chat, if you guys are listening on Spotify, I apologize for talking about Twitch, but I believe Skycrawler in the chat said MrBeast actually pays people to dub his YouTube videos in like 7 different languages, and he releases them.
So many channels.
Well, and the thing is,
they're all in different languages. Yeah.
Well, like Waiton's content or Rocket Sledge's content generally has very little face cam. So Waiton could have a Spanish Rocket League channel and literally just find somebody who speaks Spanish really well and pay them to dub.
Although I completely agree with that. MrBeast money is unreal though, and translation services are not cheap. My mom works in translation services, like that's her job. Like, yeah, she like recruits people that speak different languages for her company around the world, and gets them to translate different legal things. And yeah, that's what she does. It's really cool. But that service alone is so expensive per hour, depending on what language you want. Spanish is the easiest.
I used to deal with translators actually for one of my old jobs, and the company I worked for, they were hiring people from I don't even know where and for however cheap. But yeah, it was actually a really painful experience to work with the translators because I was like,
Interpro translations. So that's literally her job. She just finds translators for people that need translators. So people come to her company and then they get translators. But it's not easy. And for MrBeast to have a Russian channel, like that is an insane amount of money he's pouring into those other channels. It pays off. He has so many channels with I don't know how much that man makes. Like, he's for his 10 or 100 million subscriber special, he's getting in a private island to bring like 1 million of his subscribers. I don't know what he's doing. He's literally living on his own. He's like giving
away 2 or 3 islands now. So yeah,
man, like, is nuts.
It's unreal when you think about the amount of money that goes into his content.
But yeah,
but
sure.
At the same time,
waiting, it's like
how he generated MrBeast is a whole topic. Like just an extraordinary creator that started from like nothing. The man like spent like he would just film himself saying words for hours, because MrBeast's biggest piece of advice was, when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. And that's how I've created everything. And so that's like a very big thing.
His titles and thumbnails are not clickbait. He really does what he says. And and that's but people don't, but it's always disbelief. It's like, no way he actually did that. And he does it. It's
but it's come from a long way. What's Randy?
I was gonna ask, what is Veed's opinion? Veeds, what's your opinion on MrBeast?
What's happening, guys? I can't do a good Veeds.
He's proper rich, isn't he? I can't do a Veeds impression either.
Oh my gosh! All right, well that's a clip. Somebody clip it.
He proper has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Proper rich boy.
All right. So we've talked about the plagiarism enough, right? Like, I think there's nothing you can do other than, especially for the kind of plagiarism on YouTube.
Support your creators from the source and report anything you see that might seem like it's being copied. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I hope it gets taken down.
Or dub it in Espanol. Or pay Nito to be the dub. All right, sorry, next.
Right. No, you're good. Speaking of things that get taken down, Twitch oopsies. Very briefly, wanted to touch on something that happened to the Sub-Saharan Africa Rocket League major. I believe it was their major event, and they were hosted by a big creator. Was it apparently Jack?
Yeah, it was Jack.
Apparently Jack hosted them for 1,000 some viewers. The stream, I think it must have thought it was getting botted or something because of the massive host.
Oh, that's not what they
Twitch
said.
What happened?
It says, okay, so I'm going to read the tweet to you guys now so you can, and this is
Sorry,
from,
I apologize. I thought I was well informed. I suppose. I guess not.
yeah, that's what we are speculating, but that's not what Twitch formally told them. So the ColosseumGG tweeted out, yo, at Twitch support, you just banned our channel in the middle of Championship Sunday for an RL Esports Sub-Saharan African main event. We had 11K viewers, and it was the biggest stream in the region's history. Thanks for ruining that. Fancy unbanning us, please. And they sent a screenshot, and I will describe the screenshot now. The reason Twitch said was distribution of malware or harmful websites. Distributing links that contain malware or lead to websites that attempt to harm other users, such as fraudulently obtaining their private information. The only link that was allowed to be posted in the Twitch chat was the Wikipedia bracket link. And so yeah, the rule they were given doesn't make sense because literally that Wikipedia link is, I mean, they use it in RLCS all the time. And they eventually went live on another, like at the Uni Rocketeers Twitch channel instead of the Colosseum Twitch channel to finish out the event. I'm assuming for, a fraction of the viewership that was there, as well as just like probably throwing a wrench into the whole tournament. Yeah, the whole tournament, whole production, everything. Could you, like, how big do you gotta fuck up Twitch to take down it's 11,000 viewers? You couldn't have one person stop in and be like,
it was a very weirdly targeted event. I felt like of all the streams to have been accused of such a thing, like, I don't know. It just seemed very not good and did not look good for Twitch at all. So
it was 200 average viewers on Uni Rocketeers is what we were hearing in the Twitch chat here.
That's not horrible, but like it's probably because
it's
of
not
like
11,000
the hype that was generated. Yeah, of course, right. Right.
And oh my god, and this is this region is trying to get traction to Rocket League, and oh my god, I just can't imagine.
Yeah, it hurts.
And then I think I followed the channel a little bit afterwards to kind of figure out what was going on or if Twitch resolved it. And I think Twitch eventually got them unbanned, but they basically just said, sorry, it was a problem on our end.
Well, no shit.
It's like, no fucking shit, dude. No shit.
Give them a check mark. Say sorry.
Yeah, freaking partner the stream or something for that. Like, I just can't believe. I mean, how does it seems like every week there's a Twitch oopsie. Like, like, come on, man.
It's not their fault. They're a small indie company.
Okay. They act like it. They still act like a small indie company, and their foresight is shit. But that was the funny Twitch oopsie, and I mean, how that tweet got a lot of traction. How many likes did it get? 892, 818, or 118 retweets.
Yeah,
like,
I'm glad they were able to get to the bottom of it, but it was such a weird event. I didn't like that it was a major tournament that had gotten snubbed like that. Like, I can't imagine being the players playing and being told like,
right.
keep playing, but after this game we have to restart everything because the production just got banned.
Well, and it's like
they're probably thinking like, what did we do?
Makes no sense.
I just don't understand why
their plays were so dirty they had to ban the stream.
Yeah. Well, it's just like if somebody took 2 seconds to look at it, they would realize, or I don't understand something about the automation of that takedown. I don't understand. Like, the only thing
think a lot of other channels would be getting taken down.
Well, it's just because big content creators host events or host smaller channels all the time. So it's like, why
people get giant hosts like that from big streamers all the time.
Multiple times daily.
Every time Pokemon goes offline, she hosts somebody, right? And then they get a 20,000 viewer rate.
And so I don't know because some of this traffic might have legit been organic, because I mean, I don't know how much of it was organic, because obviously like it's a new event and everything, but it's just like, I don't know, seems sus, and I don't like it.
Well, hopefully they can get that doesn't happen again. And speaking of new events, Gridiron's back.
Woo!
Oh, I think like now. Actually, I think it's probably
just went
out
live.
Yeah, it just went live in game.
if you didn't know, because I noticed that some people will miss Gridiron when it's a limited time mode. Gridiron is American football in Rocket League, and it is a really great mode, especially if you have that. If you got those friend groups and you always have that one man out, like you're playing threes, but your buddy's there, so you got to do private twos all the time, and you can never play online and get your experience points. Now you can, because Gridiron is a 4v4 game mode. It is my favorite 4v4 game mode that has ever been created for Rocket League, and I think. And people make a good point, like it shouldn't be permanent because less people will play it all time. But because when it comes back, it has such a huge playership. I just love it. I love it so much. I'm not biased. I did win the Gridiron Games twice.
She's got a blue title. Wait, you've won it twice now?
Yeah, the second time was an honorary when it was that messed up one.
Oh yeah.
But I was dubbed the second winner. They told me on the live stream.
This is well, you know what? I've won a Gridiron Games too, Nito.
You have. But what do you have to show for it, Try?
Exactly. Yeah, Nito gets a blue title. I get nothing. I don't even get invited back to this Gridiron Games.
Yeah, I'm pretty hype. My team is gonna be the winning team. So if you see me, it's me, Alpha Cap, Corrupted G, and Fire.
Oh, that's a really good team.
Yeah. Sweet.
That's gonna be a really good team, actually. Yeah.
I feel like Corrupted G would be really good at Gridiron.
And they got me. I got the strats. I don't got the skills, but I got the strats.
Randy, do you play Gridiron?
Experience. What do you mean? Of course.
Well, it's got some ground game in it, so I figured. Well, the ground game is different because the ball is stuck at you. I love it a lot.
I can't really.
I bet you he just jukes people out.
I can't musty flick as well with it, but I can do some things.
Oh, then you might as well not even play the game mode. You can't musty flick.
As long as it's not a puck, I'm chill with it.
Oh my god! So tomorrow, Thursday, February 10th, 10 a.m. PST are the Gridiron Games. If you want to tune into the main Rocket League channel, it'll be a good one. But yeah, no, that would have been nice to have you on the Gridiron Games. Try. I was looking forward to maybe having you on my squad. The ultimate Gridiron squad.
That'd be too OP. It would be too much.
You're right. They knew. They would know.
They took the OP carry from my team last Gridiron Games in Sathu. Sathu just like, oh my gosh, the man's got a gift for Gridiron, and he was the only one from my team called back for this Gridiron Games. So watch out for him, Nito. He's disgusting.
Wait, who?
It's Sathu.
No, I'm not worried.
He's a nobody.
Oh, you mean the betrayer, Sathu, left us for GFuel?
I did Gridiron with Sathu the second. Wait, was it Gridiron? No, it was with you. We did some other event.
Oh, Rumble? Fast and Furious event.
Oh, Fast
This
and
is
Furious.
why they don't invite us back on, is because we can't remember what events we were a part of.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have been a part of like a few Twitch rivals, and I don't remember how many. I'm like,
But how many have you won, Nito? How many Twitch rivals have you won? Because I didn't get a title for that either. I've won two of them. I've won two of them, and I ain't got a title.
Nice one, dude. Oh my god, yeah, Twitch rivals. That would be. You should get maybe like a little star on your profile, like Twitch rivals winner.
That'd be cool.
It would be so
I would like
cute.
that.
Did you just try to give me a literal gold star for my efforts?
I want a gold star.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be happy?
I would, but that's not the point, Nito.
You would be happy.
I would be so happy.
What else? Gridiron, but that's pretty much it. You can play Gridiron now.
Yeah. The Fennec decals for the NFL Fennec decals are out.
Yeah, we have animated decals now.
Woohoo,
for NFL.
For the Fennec.
They're really nice. Make sure to get the Bears decal, guys. The Bears.
So we're one step closer to having animated RLCS decals now.
True. Do you think that's going to be like the next batch?
Oh, you're talking about the esports decals.
Esports decals. We don't have any animated ones yet, but now we have animated NFL decals. So I think that might bridge the two.
I don't know if I want animated. I just don't like animated decals generally, but.
Okay, we should have an option. I mean, we already have the old ones. You don't need to get the new ones if they animate them.
It's a money-making opportunity. They'll bring out animated decals for esports.
People like black markets. If it looks like a black market, they'll get it.
That would be so cool. We better have like a cool space one that looks like Interstellar, but it's even cooler.
I just want it to be kind of minimalistic, but I want some animation. If they run it out like the MG88 or something like that, I'm down for it.
An SSG MG88 would be.
Bro, that would be insane.
I could. Oh my gosh.
Like the away decal is kind of like on the same.
What is MG88?
Same look.
It's the sweaty one that all the pros use. It's the only animated. It looks like if Dune Racer was a little bit more tuned down and animated. It's like
I'll have to check it out because I haven't I don't keep up with the cosmetics nowadays.
well, that's because it's not for the Fennec. They don't have an MG88 for the Fennec.
Oh,
that's why you don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
What
you're talking about.
But yeah, it's a nice decal, and oh man, that would look really nice with like an SSG branding on it. Also, in the Twitch chat, we're talking about esports goal explosions. Dude, a space station gaming
like
goal explosion.
Things other than decals.
I would like that.
Are you kidding me? A space station goal explosion? Take Cosmosis and just put all of the sponsorships
No, because
in the
what they're
ether.
gonna do, like I just imagine like what they do for rewards, where they'll like put the logo and it'll just explode with the logo, and then a color with like fireworks, and like it'll be all the same but just a different logo. Like I don't think they could get super creative.
Little hope.
I know, and plus the idea of like coding for an entire gold explosion and rendering that and making a 3D model, I'm sure is 1,000 times harder than just like making a skin for a car that a lot of
decals are actually a lot easier to do.
Yeah, you can you just get you download the file for it and you can just draw on it and paint and then re-upload it and then you got a skin. So
and the goal explosions wouldn't work in hoops anyway, so why do I care?
We are going off on a major tangent because we kind of wrapped up what we wanted to talk about and touch on today. But I hope you guys like the cast, and if you got here in the middle of it, don't worry, we upload to Spotify and we upload these live casts to YouTube as well now. So make sure to look up SSG Scuffed Cast whenever you can. Oh my god, it's like a tongue twister. And yeah, follow us on Twitter at SSG Scuffed Cast, and hopefully next week we'll have a V's with us and we'll force him to recap us on everything EU because we don't ever pay attention to that, I guess. We'll catch you guys next week though. All right, bye.
Bye nerds.